I'm so excited to have this conversation. One of my favorite to have because it is so important. And I know so many of you are pregnant or you are going to be pregnant, whether you're my clients, whether you're just listening to the podcast, whatever it is. And this is such an important conversation. This is coming up for me because one of my girlfriends just recently had a baby and this was just like coming up in our group chat. And I'm like, oh shit, I need to bring this to the podcast because I've got some thoughts, I've got some feelings on it. So, we're talking about boundaries postpartum. And if there is any time in your life to have rock motherfucking solid boundaries, it is when you are postpartum, okay? And so, obviously, like, you do you. You do what feels best for you, what feels best for your partner and your baby and all these things. But especially if this is your first child, like you might think that you're going to feel a different way than you actually do once you have the baby. And this is something that most all of us have experienced who have already had a baby. So if this is your second go around too, or third or whatever, maybe you're like, okay, I did not like the way I did things last time. I want to change it for this time. Like, how can I communicate these boundaries? All these things. So take what we're talking about here, take what makes sense, leave what doesn't, have a conversation with your partner about it. And that's just the vibe. So I'll talk about what I did that I really, really liked boundary wise. And I liked everything. I would do it all the same again, honestly. Okay, so first we'll start with like if you're having a baby in the hospital, right? I personally had a baby in a hospital. I did unmedicated birth, but we did it in a hospital. I had a doula. I don't know if I'll ever do a home birth, to be honest. I like labored at home for a few hours, more than a few hours. Time is just what is time when you're in labor. But started around like 5 p.m. and then we left for the hospital at like midnight. And then I had Madison at 7:29 in the morning. So probably like half the time, a little less than half the time I was home. And then I did the rest at the hospital. And I felt that I was able to relax more once I got to the hospital. Even my doula was like, you're more relaxed in this environment. And which is weird because I'm not like, obviously, you know me, I'm not a hospital person. I'm not a medication person. I don't like doctors, like all these things, but it was my first time having a child. And even if, I was having a second, I would still feel this way. I just like knowing like God forbid anything was going to go down. I was like where I needed to be for things to be taken care of. And I had communicated with my doctor prior, like, this is my birth plan, right? So I have a whole nother episode on that. I think I'll drop it in the show notes. If not, I'll record one, but I'm almost positive I do. Of like, I talked to my doctor, I don't remember when I was like maybe 30 something weeks, like way early, just in case I went early, of like no IV hookup, no getting checked every freaking second, no monitors. Like I'm moving around. I'm not birthing on my back. We're not doing any vitamin K shot. We're not doing the fucking Hep B shot. We're not doing the antibiotic ointment. Like not doing any of this shit. So like he was very clear on it and he was like cool with it. He's like, okay, great. When we got to the hospital, especially like this is really not postpartum boundaries, but we're in this conversation now. So whatever, let's just keep rolling with it. Like have these conversations before you actually go into labor, because I promise you, once you get there, you're not going to be able to have these conversations. Okay. So talking to your doctor ahead of time and making sure he's on board with it. And then obviously communicating with your partner. So then he or she can then like communicate the rest of it, because you're going to be in no shape to do that. Because when we did get to the hospital, I had to sign all these forms, which is so ridiculous. I asked if I could do this ahead of time and they wouldn't let you. I had to sign these forms of like, I'm not doing Hep B and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm clearly not reading it. I'm in active labor right now. Do you think I'm reading a word that's on this page? Like, it's so ridiculous. Whatever. I signed everything, moved on. But the nurse came in and she was ready to like hook me up to all the monitors and stuff, which doesn't allow you to then move around during your labor. Like, it was really important to me to be able to move around freely, to go on my hands and knees, to get up, to like do all that. And you can't do that when you're hooked up to all these machines. And so my OBGYN was there. And he was like, no, he's like, she doesn't want any of that. Like, and he reiterated my birth plan to them, even though I came in with the worksheets, like passed them out, like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm not doing. And so that was really, really nice because he was able to communicate that to them. And he was like, like the boss or whatever. So they were like, okay, cool. So anyway, we had the baby in the hospital. And so I knew right away that I did not want a ton of people coming to the hospital to visit her. Well, we didn't know at the time that it was a girl, but we found out that day, like when she was born. But I knew right away I didn't want that. I was like, yeah, I'm not having every aunt, uncle, cousin up in this bitch holding my new baby. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. So and my husband felt the same way. So what we did was I told my mom, like, we're like just grandparents and siblings. Those are the only ones that are allowed to come to the hospital. Okay. That is it. We were only in the hospital for literally a day. Like I had her 7:29 in the morning. We stayed that one night and we left the next morning. So we weren't even there long, but I'm so glad I did that because I mean, like, first of all, you're so tired. You're trying to learn the baby. I don't want every person's germs all over my new baby. I want time to figure stuff out, like, whatever. But what I did, I had my mom contact the family. I was like, you contact whoever you need to contact. Like, tell every aunt and uncle, whatever. Like, Corinne will let you know when she's ready for visitors, but please do not come to the hospital. She doesn't want anybody coming there. We'll send you pictures, okay? And then my mother-in-law, same thing. We were like, tell everybody no one's allowed to come. And they were all did that. So like that was off my plate. I just put that task on them. I'm like, you just like sound the alarms, let everybody know the fucking shop is closed, okay? So that I really liked doing that. And it was so helpful because it was nice to just have our parents come and our siblings and like that was it. And that was perfect. Felt really, really good for us. Then same thing applied as soon as we got home. So this is such a huge piece of info, like advice I would give you, especially if this is your first and or if this is your second or third and you didn't do this the first time and you're like, you want to do this the second time around. Communicate this ahead of time because you're going to be so exhausted once the baby is there and you're in such a vulnerable state. You're way more emotional than usual. Like you're going to want to get all these conversations out of the way before you actually have the baby. But once the baby came home, the same things applied for like no hospital visits. It was like, don't even ask me to come see the baby until at least 2 weeks after I've had her. Right. And so like when my mom texted, the family of like, she's not having any hospital visitors. She doesn't really want anyone around the baby for at least the first couple of weeks. So like you get it all done at one time. So they are fully aware. Do not come and just drop by. No surprise visits. Nobody's coming into my home. Like it is such a sacred time when you are postpartum, especially those first couple weeks. Like I am so happy we did this, not even for the germ thing. Like, yes, that too, because they're so vulnerable when they're little, but like, and when it's like your close family, it's not like you have to host them, but you still have people in your home and it still requires you to be there to talk or to just manage something or whatever. Like, especially with breastfeeding, I was like, I'm walking around practically naked the whole day. Like, that's not acceptable when you're like your aunt uncle over, okay? Like, I'll breastfeed in front of anybody. I don't care. I breastfed for 2 years. I breastfed literally in front of just people in Home Depot. I could give two flying fucks. But when like I'm in my home, I'm not just gonna walk around topless having like family over. So this, I would like really encourage this on both sides of the family, friends, everything. Like, I know you guys are so excited to meet the baby. Oh my God, I can't wait for you to meet them. It's going to be so exciting and so special. We really want to keep these first couple of weeks really sacred of just us and the baby so that we can get used to him or her. They can get used to us. We can get ourselves in a rhythm and really just like keep this as sacred as possible. And keep her or him as safe as possible from germs. So like, I know you're so excited to meet him, her or him, and I can't wait either. I'll send you pictures, but we're not having any visitors like in our home for, the first few weeks. Like, thank you so much for understanding. We'll let you know when is a good time to come. Done. Like, don't leave room for, oh, maybe it's okay if I stop by. Like, no. Okay. Absolutely not. That is what I would recommend because you like the two people that need the most protection in the world are brand new moms and brand new babies. Like we need to protect ourselves and our new babies as much as possible just from like just that cocoon phase. And you're never going to get these first few weeks back. Like it's such a headache when you have a ton of people coming in and out. Like, oh my God, my number one recommendation would be to do that. Truly, truly, truly would be to do that. Now, again, we had our family, like we had our parents and our siblings, they would come. But it wasn't like a revolving motherfucking door. Like they would obviously have to let us know when they're coming. There were no surprise visits. Let us know when you're coming. And it was like not every single day. It was we maybe had one person every day, or there were some days where I was just like, no, we're like really exhausted. Like we really don't want anybody here. And thankfully, they respected our boundaries. Okay, so I'm going to get to that in a second. But that was something that I would definitely recommend doing. And what you can do, because people want to be supportive, right? First of all, they just want to meet the baby because the babies are cute. Let's be honest. But if people in your life want to be supportive, you could tell them like, here's how I would love for, if someone asks like, oh my God, I can't wait to see the baby, or, oh, like what do you need? Even like before you have the baby or when you already had the baby, let people know how they can support you. People want to show up for you, right? Just like you want to show up with your friend or your cousin or your sister or whatever who just had a baby. People want to show up for you, but they need to know what support looks like. It's from your perspective. To me, what is the most supportive thing for a new mother is food. Provide the mother with food, okay? Nourishing, home cooked meals, all organic, so she doesn't have to fucking cook, okay? Maybe her partner cooks, that's even better. Then he could take care of it or she could take care of it. But also still, like they're gonna be tired too, because yes, they're obviously not the one who had the baby, but they're involved in the process of, hopefully involved in the process of the baby being up all the time, take care of the baby, da 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 da. So yes, though, I do definitely, if like your husband or your partner cooks, like that's there, especially if like you're breastfeeding and stuff, how they can support you is get in the fucking kitchen. Okay. Get in the kitchen, whip as much shit up as you possibly can so you don't have to cook and have to not only do the physical act of doing it, but think about, okay, what do I need to make? What do I need to buy? Da, da, da. Like take that energy off your plate. And you can tell everybody else too, like your parents. I remember before I had the baby, I texted my mom and sister. I was like, these are the things I love from Cornucopia, which is a like health food store by me. So like when you come visit me, please bring me this. Like I was just straight up like, this is what I would love. And like, okay, great. Thank you. Same things. When my girlfriends finally came over to meet the baby, they're like, okay, we're bringing food. What do you want? Amazing. Here's what I want. Like, let people know how they can support you. And the biggest thing people could do, like, you don't need more clothes for the baby. You don't need all these things. Like, bring me food, bring me home cooked food. So you don't have to like be ordering out all the time and doing all these things and spending the money, but also like getting not as nutritious foods, right? Like there's going to be times you're going to have to be ordering, obviously, when you're like so exhausted and you can't be cooking and all this stuff. But like some people also, I was telling this to one of my girlfriends, her sister like makes meals and stuff for people postpartum. And I was like, she doesn't do just for postpartum, but I was telling her, I'm like, okay, she should start a business. Obviously the entrepreneur in me, I'm like, she should start a business and focus solely on postpartum moms of like meal delivery service for postpartum moms. I was like, and at baby showers, like people could register for gift cards to this meal planning service like that. So meals are just delivered to your house when you have the baby. So pro tip, when you're doing your baby shower or whatever, register for like a meal train, like a meal delivery service, like gift cards or whatever to like a health food store, or be like, hey, can you cook me this meal? Bring this over. Like that is what's going to be most supportive for you. And even if someone is like, hey, like I know I did this to my friend too, because she didn't want visitors in the beginning either, which obviously I totally understand. But I was like, I know she's going to want food. And so I texted her husband. So I'm like, I don't want to put anything on her plate. I was like, hey, I'm thinking of making a red lentil soup. Those of you who have the recipes guide, you know what I'm talking about. My nourished lentil soup. I'm like, does she like this? Does your daughter like this? Because they had another child already. And I'm like, what do you want me to change about that? He's like, no, that's perfect. Amazing. So I made them a huge thing of soup, brought it over. I brought her some sandwiches from Cornucopia, some like truffles or whatever. And just like, I told her, I was like, I'm just dropping it and I'm going. Like, I'm not coming in. She obviously opened the door. She's like, I'll open the door. I'm like, okay. So you open the door. I'm like, I peeked at the baby. I'm like, okay, here it is. We like chatted for a second and then I left. But amazing thing someone can do for you. So like, let people know how they can support you. Food is always the answer, period. And letting them know ahead of time what you might like and all of that. Okay. So that's what I would suggest visitor wise. Now, if you unfortunately have a family member, whether it's on your side of the family or on your partner's side of the family, that does not respect your boundaries, because this comes up a lot with friends or clients that I've heard, like, hey, we told them we don't want visitors, but they're literally just showed up. This is when you need, especially, so let's just say it's your in-laws, right? That are just like not respecting your boundaries and they're just like coming, right? This is when you need your partner to step the fuck up and to like protect you and the baby, and to have a conversation with their family member or the friend or whoever's just showing up of like, hey guys, like, wow, we're so grateful that you are just so excited to meet the baby, and we know like they're going to love you so much and you're going to love them, but we were really clear on our boundaries and our expectations for this really sacred time of our new family. And so I really appreciate you guys coming all the way out here, but we're really not taking visitors right now. So we'll let you know when you can come back, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave because it's really not a good time. And we have to do what's best for like Shelly, whatever your name is, and baby blank. Okay. Like, period, goodbye. Now, if they just bust through the door and they're already there, it's like, okay, now we have to have a conversation. So they're already there. You're like, hey, they're already fucking here. So they're already here. But after they leave, your partner, again, if this is the in-laws, your partner needs to either call them or talk to them outside after and have that conversation. Like, hey, thank you so much for coming. Like, we're glad you got to meet the baby. But, again, we were really clear that we don't actually want that. And it felt a little disrespectful that you sidestepped our boundaries. So please, don't just drop by unannounced again. It's really not supportive for where Shelly is at and baby blank is at right now. And it's my job to really protect them. So, and this is what that looks like right now. So we'll send you pictures, we'll send you videos. Thank you for loving them so much. And again, when the time is ready, we'll let you know. Period. Okay. So if it's your in-laws, that's your partner's job to handle that for you. Now, if it's your family, unfortunately, it's going to be your job, even though you shouldn't have to put one other fucking thing on your plate. Or, I mean, if your partner feels comfortable having the conversation with them, or if you feel comfortable having your partner have the conversation, that's fine too. But if it's your family, then you're the one that's going to have the conversation. Same thing though. But again, maybe when it's your family, maybe you don't have to be as like diplomatic about it. Like if that was my family, I'd be like, guys, I told you, like, I love you so much, but I told you I really don't want people just dropping by. Like, please let me know next time. Like whatever conversation you need to have. But this is not the time for you to just be like, oh, I feel bad being direct, or oh, I feel bad. Like, let your fierce mama protection come out, because it is your job to protect that baby. And like, you do not need a ton of people breathing all over him or her, passing them around like a fucking football, like spitting on them when they're talking, or having their like school-aged kids coming in just because you feel bad about being rude. No, no, no. You're a mom now. It's your job to protect this baby. And if that's again, some people don't care. Some people will love having a full house, like great, more power to you, whatever feels good for you. But if you are more like me and you were like, hell motherfucking no, like, speak up. People want to know how they can support you. People do well when the boundaries are clear and they know what their expectations are. So let that fierce mama protection come out. When this was going on with one of my girlfriends and like she was having unexpected visitors, us in the group chat, we were like, okay, do you want us to come over and be like, listen, you need to get the fuck out because someone needs to protect you and this baby. And she was like, because you're so emotional too. This is why it's like having these conversations ahead of time is so important. And if a boundary is being broken, hopefully your partner can handle it for you, because you're so vulnerable and just emotional and exhausted, and it's at some point you're just like, fuck it, like just let them come in. I don't even fucking care. I'm too tired to like battle it out. You know what I mean? So she was like locked in her bedroom and she's like, oh my God, I hear that. It was like a nightmare. But anyway, so that is what I would recommend doing. Those are the conversations I would recommend having, and talk to your partner about this before having the baby, of like, if this happens, this is what we're going to do. If this happens, this is what we're going to do. Because both of you are going to be like so exhausted, brain fog, like pacing your eyelids open just to get through. Like, have these conversations ahead of time. Okay. And make sure that you have plans for like what people can expect of you, what you want to happen. And it might not look perfect, but like, this is just really having these postpartum boundaries are so, so huge. And even like, say when you're actually like leaving the house again, right? I did a whole nother episode too on like the things that I personally did for myself postpartum, of like taking care of myself and healing or whatever, and things I wish I did and that I didn't do. So I'll link that below too. But something else that could be like a boundary as well, aside from like visitors and stuff, is like when you are finally like venturing out into the world. I remember like going, I think it was shortly after, I think it was like Father's Day. Yeah, because we had her in June, Father's Day. And then it was like a month later, she was like a month old. We had like a family reunion or whatever. I was still very nervous. Like I still did not want people holding her a ton. Especially like again, like our immediate family, fine. But I just did not want a ton of people like passing her around. So I wore her everywhere. So I would put my Solly baby wrap on in the car, like, you know, in the house before we left, wore it in the car, and then I would just slip her in the wrap. So it wasn't like people could just like take her out of the stroller and pick her up, or just take her out of my arms or whatever. And I didn't have to have that conversation. If they did, like, oh, please don't do that. Like no one was going to reach into the wrap and take her out. And so like she was safe. And I like something for me, because, you know, people can have postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, all of that. For me, I would get anxious if she was too far away from me. I remember one of the first nights we were home, it might have been the first night, and we were like sitting on the couch eating dinner, and she was in this like little chair, literally just like across the room. Like I could have taken like 1, 2, 3, like 4 steps and like got her. And I was so anxious. I'm like, okay, no, I need her closer to me. Like she has to be closer to me. Because if you think about it, they were literally living inside of you for 9 months, inside of you, which is why they want to be close to you too. They don't actually understand that you aren't part of their body. So it's like a year old or so. I don't actually know the amount of time, but it's like a really long time. So that's why they also want to be close. But like for me, I was like, I need her close. Like I have to just have her near me at all times. I feel very anxious when she's not near me. So when we would go out places, I would always wear her in the wrap. So I didn't have that awkward conversation. And then if like I wanted a break, whatever, if I wanted like my parents or something to hold her, I would just like take her out and then be like, when you're done, give her back to me, or give her back to Chris or whatever. Like don't give her to fucking Uncle Sal over there who's 10 beers deep and is going to be spitting all over her because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Okay. Like, no, thank you. Okay. So anyway, that was like the biggest boundaries that I would really have set, and just conversations to have before you have the baby so that you feel really solid in what's going on. The hospital visit situation and the visiting after is the biggest thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I think that that's like pretty much covers it. Obviously, if I have anything else, I'll do another episode on it. If you are someone who's currently pregnant or whatever, whether you're a client, whether you're not, first of all, come tell me. I'd love to know about it. And what other conversations you would love for me to have regarding postpartum, because it is such an important topic to talk about. It is such a sacred, sacred time of healing, of bonding, of like identifying what the hell's going on, like learning what the fuck to do, you know? And so really, and again, like if these boundaries don't feel good to you, don't do them. Like do what feels best for you. Excuse me. And again, what feels best for you right now before you have the baby might very well change once you actually do have the baby too. So keep that in mind as well. But anyway, that is that for today's episode. I hope it was helpful for you. Share this with someone who is currently pregnant, or maybe they're trying to conceive and they're going to be pregnant soon, so this is going to be helpful for them. And let me know what you thought about it. Share with a friend. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. We are going to be doing a really fun giveaway soon because we have hit 1 million downloads on the show. Oh my God, what the fuck? So crazy. I actually can't conceptualize that number, but I'm really excited about it. So thank you so much. And it's because of you leaving a review, sharing it with a friend, sharing on your stories, like doing all these things. So thank you. I appreciate you so freaking much. And I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for being here. If you loved this episode and learned something valuable, please share it with a friend who you think would also love it, or post it on social media and tag me so I could personally say thank you for helping me spread this important message. I am beyond grateful to be here with you. So until next time, stay intentional, stay consistent, and always mind your hormones.